I hope you're doing well. In Colossians chapter 4, verses 5 through 6, we read, "Walk in wisdom toward those who are outside, redeeming the time." That's an interesting phrase. He says, "Let your speech always be with grace, seasoned with salt, that you may know how you ought to answer each one." He says, walk in wisdom. Be careful how you carry yourself. Be careful how you look to those who are outside. He says, redeem the time. The thing about life is that it's finite. Time is our most limited resource. We don't think of it that way. Oftentimes we think, all right, well, we've got wind power, we've got solar power, etc., etc. These things are renewable. We say, well, we've got oil, that's going to go away. But my point is, we forget that time, we get caught up in these things, or resources, our natural resources, and we forget that time is the most unrenewable resource that we have. What I mean to say is once time passes, it's gone. You can't reach out and get it. It's gone. So you watch a watch or a clock tick by, and as it ticks, it always goes in one direction. It never goes backwards. It can't go backwards. You can't reach back. You can't grab that time. You can't say, I wish I had done these things differently. So Paul says in Colossians, redeem the time. He says, what you have in front of you, use it for good as best as you can. He says, let your speech always be with grace. And I will admit this is something that I sometimes struggle with. He says, let your speech always be with grace. He says, seasoned with salt. Make sure what you're saying is true. Make sure that it is as best as you can. Be pleasant. Make sure that it's the right thing to say at the right time to the right person, etc., etc. He says that you may know how to answer each one. So when somebody asks you about your faith or what you believe, make sure you know how to answer them with those questions. So again, Colossians chapter 4, verses 5 through 6, he says, walk in wisdom towards those who are outside, redeeming the time. Make good use of your time. Let your speech always be with grace, seasoned with salt, that you may know how to answer each one. I want to thank you for watching. Today is the last day of our gospel meeting, April the 26th, 2023. And I'd like to encourage you that if you'd like to, come visit us. Please, we'd love that. In the description of this video, you'll find a link giving you the details, the time, the place, who's speaking tonight. It's going to be wonderful. I already know that. And if you're watching this out, say, at a month from now, whatever that may be, there will also be a link for the playlist that contains all of the sermons from this gospel meeting in case you weren't able to hear them or in case you want to hear them again. Again, I want to thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it.